Hey all, welcome back. I'm Jonathan Hirsch, VP of The Binge and host of the weekly show Crime Scene, and this is day 4 of our investigation into the unsolved 1987 Arkansas murders of Don Henry and Kevin Ives, known collectively as the Boys on the Tracks. I'm reporting another documentary here in Dallas, Texas, but I was not about to miss a day of our investigation, so let's get into it. Okay, so before we dig further into the investigation, I do think we need to take a minute just to talk about these boys. Don and Kevin, they're the reason we're here. Kevin Ives was 17 when he died. He grew up in a neighborhood with 8 other boys that were about the same age. They all hung out together, they played ball, they went to high school together, and his parents built their lives kind of around them. They wanted them to want for nothing. They had a pool table, things that would bring the kids around and keep them there. And when Kevin turned 16, he got something he had always wanted, a blue Chevy Camaro with T-tops. He brought a brush in the car with him so when he would ride with the top off and then stop the car after the ride, he could brush his hair back. And his mom, Linda, says her last memory of him, she had been driving behind him and she sees him pull over into the parking lot and then get out of the car, take out that brush, and comb his hair. Don was 16, a little bit younger. He and Kevin had actually become friends at school, and Kevin came home telling stories constantly about how funny Don was, how easy he was to hang out with, how he just made friends with everybody. Don lived in Alexander, near the tracks, with his dad Curtis and his older sister Gayla, and he loved to hunt. We know less about Don than we do about Kevin. Linda really led the charge on the investigation, and much of what we know about him comes from her on-the-record accounts. So if you knew Don Henry, or you went to Bryant High, if you hunted with him, if he made you laugh, please, I want to hear from you so I can feed back some of these details to the rest of this community. So we've talked about the timeline, where the boys were, that 4-hour gap, but we haven't discussed who saw the boys last before the train made impact. The engineers of the Union Pacific freight train. That's tomorrow. Follow me here as we unpack a new element of this case each day. And if you have information on this case or theories or places you think we need to be looking, leave them in the comments, DM me or email me at boysonthetracks@gmail.com. Thank you to everyone who has reached out so far. No stone unturned. Let's go find answers. I'll see you tomorrow.